Everyone, it's Victoria with Nutrition by Victoria. For those of you who don't know me, I am a 37-year-old mom of three. I have a Master's of Science degree in Human Nutrition and a Bachelor's of Science degree in Biology. I have been eating a high-carb, low-fat, plant-based vegan diet for almost 13 years now, and I've experienced nothing short of a miracle, okay? I've had 3 healthy pregnancies. I experienced a level of food and body freedom that most people strive to attain but never achieve. And I've basically cracked the code for having a high functioning metabolism. So that is what I do here with this channel is share information about how to build a high functioning metabolism. And I also do coaching. Links for my coaching are in the description box down below. So in today's video, we are going to talk about some of the pitfalls that people experience when trying to eat a healthy diet. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. We're going to be taking a look at my Instagram account today. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, which is a lot of you because I have 11,000 subscribers on YouTube and I only have 1,800 on Instagram. So go head over to your Instagram and click follow for my page so you can see everything that I post. I post a lot more about my, home life and just things that I'm doing day to day, what I'm eating, what I'm doing. Sometimes it's my kids, sometimes it's talking about people like this. So this guy is certified health nut, and we are going to be taking a look at one of his videos today of why he stopped being vegan.
Fruits and vegetables and shopping at the farmer's market in Italy. It was fantastic. I was like, wow, Whole Foods. Started shitting my brains out, cleaning my body out. It was great for the first 6 months. But long term, it affected my hormones. I got anemia. I was skinny fat. And I caught up with Marilyn Diamond in her 70s. What happened? She's like, I almost ruined my health. My hormones got smoked. And this is what I see with long term vegans. It's premature aging. I don't see a lot of health. Not only that, but it affects the neurological function. I see them very stressed because you need meat, animal fats, protein, B12. You can't manufacture B12 from vegetation. I started eating fruits and vegetables and shopping at the farmer's market in Italy. It was fantastic. I was like, wow, Whole Foods.
Okay, so one of the places that people fail on a vegan diet or just fail on a healthy diet in general is that they get too dogmatic with what it is that they're eating. So he mentioned whole foods, fruits and vegetables. A lot of people get excited when they are making the decision to add more fruits and vegetables in their diet. We need about 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, about 9 to 13 if you really want to maximize your health and nutrient intake. So the other side of that, though, is that fruits and vegetables are by default low calorie density foods. You could be having things like dried fruit and dates and smoothies and things like that to bring the calorie density up. But in general, if you're just eating fruits and vegetables, you're not going to be able to meet your energy needs. And beyond eating fruits and vegetables, okay, comes something even more important for our health, and that is to make sure that we're taking in enough carbohydrate. So carbohydrate is our main fuel source. Okay, we have 3 macronutrients: the carbohydrate, the fat, and the protein. Okay, but the carbohydrates are primary metabolic fuel. In order to run our TCA cycle, our energy generation stations inside of our cells, we need to have starting material, and that comes in the form of glucose and fructose predominantly. Okay, so when we neglect our carbohydrate needs, our calorie needs, and we fall into what I like to call orthorexia, where we're only eating whole foods, we're avoiding sugar, we're avoiding any kind of processed foods, we can fall into a calorie deficient diet, and that inevitably will cause us to experience problems in the short and long term. Okay, so let's go back.
shitting my brains out, cleaning my body out. It was great for the first 6 months, but long term, it affected my hormones.
Okay, so yeah, a diet high in fruits and vegetables, a diet sufficient in fiber will clear out your colon. A lot of colon cancers getting diagnosed in men, specifically age 50 or less. It's the most common form of cancer in that age group, and then it's exponentially rising because people aren't eating enough vegetable matter, vegetable fiber. The RDA for fiber is only 25 grams. People should really be having double that so that you're clearing out stagnated waste from your system on a regular basis. When you're not eating enough fiber, when you're eating an animal heavy diet or foods that just lack fiber in general, then you're going to experience some colon stagnation. This can also happen from being dehydrated. So it's likely, he started just eating more fruits and vegetables compared to what he was doing prior and started clearing out, his guts. Now, the thing about it that people kind of get dogmatic about is this whole concept that we constantly need to be doing detox diets, juice fasting, only eating fruits and vegetables. And that is simply not true. That is dogmatic. Our body cleanses itself all on its own. It doesn't need to be on some kind of prescription in order to do this. It is important that you eat a healthy diet, eat sufficient calories, eat sufficient fiber, eat sufficient nutrients, but you don't have to be subscribed to like Robert Morse or doing enemas or doing colon hydrotherapy in order to have a colon that functions normally. Okay, you just have to put the right food material in order to support its natural functioning. I come from a background of having a pretty poor digestive health, and it all had to do with what I was not eating, which was not enough fiber. Well, actually, I was eating enough fiber, but I wasn't eating enough carbohydrates. The colon needs carbohydrates. The colon enterocytes, the colon cells needed carbohydrates regularly in order to function properly, as do all of our cells. Okay, so now he's talking about getting anemia. I have experience with this as well. Before going plant-based vegan, before learning how to eat sufficient carbohydrates, I was anemic all the time. I was always borderline anemic with my hemoglobin. My most recent blood work, my hemoglobin level came in mid-level. So it was normal range and I could feel the difference. I've been getting fitter. I just feel like I have more energy, more pep in my step, because the way that I eat supports having a good hemoglobin level, a good ferritin level. What I can say about anemia is that when I was eating an animal including diet. Actually, when I found out that I was anemic for the first time, my mom intentionally started cooking me more red meat, and I was taking iron supplements. This did not change my hemoglobin level. It did not change my hematocrit, okay, because I was having absorption issues with absorbing the hemi iron that was entrapped in this dense protein, animal flesh. So a lot of iron issues, anemia issues, come down to your digestive health. So if you don't have strong digestion, then you're going to be prone to anemia. But also if you're not taking in the nutrient enhancers, okay, the nutrient absorbers that have to go along with iron in order to enhance its absorption, like vitamin C and sugar, okay. These two dietary factors will increase your iron absorption. So you can consume non-hemi iron and absorb the max amount of it by just having more sugar and vitamin C in your diet, which comes naturally packaged with fruit, right? But I also include sugar to taste, and I also will take a low dose iron supplement that contains vitamin C as well to enhance absorption. So the thing is, a lot of people will cry, ex-vegan, it didn't work for me. And they weren't supplementing, they were avoiding processed foods. They got too dogmatic with cleansing and fasting and detoxing and following a dogmatic whole foods diet.
I got anemia. I was skinny fat, and I caught up.
Okay, skinny fat. This happens when you're running gluconeogenesis too much. So, if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that gluconeogenesis is the metabolic process that runs when we run out of sugar. Okay, when we run out of glycogen, when we aren't consuming enough dietary carbohydrate to keep our glycogen stores sufficient, we will run gluconeogenesis. Now, this process catabolizes muscle tissue to generate glucose from protein / amino acids. Okay. So you can become skinny fat when you're constantly running gluconeogenesis because you're in a carbohydrate calorie deficit. Okay. So calorie deficit, carbohydrate deficit. You're under eating on either energy or carbohydrates. It's usually both. So you are telling your body to break down muscle tissue to generate energy, which means you're going to decrease muscle mass and increase the propensity for fat storage, because gluconeogenesis also programs us to be insulin resistant. So the food that comes in, we're going to store more of that as fat because our body is sensing that it's in a famine.
With Marilyn Diamond in her 70s. What happened? She's like, I almost ruined my health.
Now, Marilyn Diamond wrote the book Fit for Life with her husband, Harvey Diamond. And I read this book probably about 18 years ago. It was when I was first starting to get into healthier eating and a vegan diet. And what I will say, from what I remember of this book and following the meal plan, was that it was a calorie restrictive plan. Yes, it was nutrient dense, but it was too little carbs and it was too little calories. Okay. So when you're following that kind of a plan, which, her and her husband made a lot of money with these books, inevitably it is going to trash your hormones, particularly your thyroid. Your thyroid hormones are dependent on sufficient carbohydrate calories coming in. When you don't supply that for your thyroid, it can't make sufficient hormones. It impacts your TSH, causes your TSH to rise, and it then, can no longer produce the T4 and the T3. I have a whole section on hormone health in my coaching program. For those of you who are interested, my coaching program will be on sale until the end of the month as my happy 2025 healthy new year to you guys. And this is what it all includes. Week 1 is understanding the human metabolism. I basically go over every single little detail you need to know in order to be as detective-like as I'm able to be when it comes to determining if some of these social media influencers are speaking truth or they're speaking nonsense, or they're just uneducated. Okay. So if you want to be an educated person so that you can make informed decisions, get a copy of my coaching program, because that's what it will allow you to do. Week 2, fundamentals of an optimal diet and lifestyle. So we go over everything that you need to be doing every day to create the body and health of your dreams. Week 3, diet and lifestyle planning. Week 4, troubleshooting your results. This is when I go over more specifics, and this is where all of the hormone information is going to be. I go over the sex hormones, the thyroid, and a few other hormonal factors that influence our health. A lot of people come to me asking if I work with menopausal women. I do. and a lot of folks seem to be concerned about their hormone levels changing as they get older, such as, women going through menopause and men experiencing lower testosterone. I basically go over what you need to be doing in order to optimize your hormones throughout any life stage, as a youth, pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, post-pregnancy, pre-menopause, during menopause, aging for men. Everything is included in this program. So get a copy of it while it's still on sale.
Hormones got smoked. And this is what I see with long-term vegans. It's premature aging. I don't see a
Now, premature aging is not specific to vegans. What it is specific to is people who undereat. Okay. The thing about constantly being in a chronic calorie deficiency, you stress your body. You're constantly using cortisol to power your system, to run gluconeogenesis, to break down your muscle tissue. And then people emphasize, oh, you got to eat more protein, more protein, more protein to combat this muscle breakdown that is happening because you're simply just not eating enough carbohydrates. The cultures that have been studied who have had the most success with long-term health and reaching an old age all consume, maybe not all, but the majority of them, where you're having like cultures and populations reaching older age, is because they're consuming a high carbohydrate diet. Carbohydrates are protective against aging because they're giving your body what it needs to generate energy, and also decreasing glycation end products, which I'll just go over those real quickly because a lot of people will say carbohydrates promote aging, when in fact, carbohydrates can be protective against aging. This is an abstract by, National Library of Medicine about advanced glycation end products and how to reduce them in our diet. Ironically, advanced glycation end products, AGEs is what they're called. Dietary advanced glycation end products are known to contribute to increased oxidant stress and inflammation, which are linked to the recent epidemics of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Just like I was mentioning about how as our carbohydrate intake has decreased over the last 30 years, disease rates have gone up: obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. And it's not because people are eating more carbs. They're eating less carbs than we ever have possibly in human history, and we're eating more animal products and more oils. Ironically, animal-derived foods that are high in fat and protein are generally AGE rich and prone to new AGE formation during cooking. In contrast, carbohydrate-rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, and whole grains contain relatively few AGEs even after cooking. So carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, are going to be protective against glycation, which is inevitably going to slow down the aging process. So it's a complete opposite of what people are telling you in social media, okay?
lot of health. Not only that, but it affects the.
And what I will say again is that vegans are very prone to following dogmatic vegan diets where they are only eating whole foods, only eating one type of food, following a detoxing and fasting regimen, chronically under eating. And it all comes down to just a general lack of knowledge about how the human metabolism and the human body works.
Neurological function. I see them very.
Now, decreased neurological function is what he mentioned. That all comes down to eating enough calories. Okay. What does your brain exclusively run on? And it's not fats, okay? Fats can't cross the blood-brain barrier. Your brain is made up of fatty tissue, but it does not use fats to create energy. In fact, when you're in ketosis, you can't use any ketones to fuel your brain. You have to continue running gluconeogenesis alongside ketosis in order to generate glucose for your brain, because it's the only form of energy that can pass the blood-brain barrier to generate energy for the brain. And the brain uses about 20% of your daily energy intake, or requires 20% of your daily energy output, okay, every single day. So if people are experiencing neurological decline, it's going to be due to an insufficient carbohydrate intake. Okay. And then a lot of people will say, well, it's the advanced glycation end products, but we just went over that foods high in carbohydrates and low in fat are the lowest in AGEs.
Very stressed because you need meat.
Okay. And then he said they seem very stressed. That's going to be because they're under eating, high cortisol. Okay.
Meat, animal fats, protein, B12. You can't manufacture B12 from vegetation.
Okay. So he is saying that you need meat in your diet. And we just went over that advanced glycation end products are found in meat. Okay. The other thing is that the current health epidemics in the West, because you're not seeing them in countries where people are getting 90% of their calories from carbohydrates, like in India, Africa, and in parts of Asia, although in those countries, the third world parts where people are consuming a lot of grain and carbohydrate is their staple, because that's what they grow, that's what they have access to. High or animal products, high fat, foods have a it's a status of wealth. It's a symbol of wealth when you can get access to these foods. And if you go back through history, it's always been the same thing. The people who were fat and the people who died of heart disease all consumed an animal product heavy diet. The people who were skinny and working out in the fields and were farmers and, heavy labor jobs and poor, they were eating all the potatoes, the grains, the vegetables. Okay. So it's crazy to me that people demonize carbohydrates when that's the food group that makes people healthy, fit, and lean, because it gives you the energy to be that way, to burn off the body fat, to create the fat deficit that you need in order to, lose the body fat. Going back to this video, though, B12, 40% of the population in the West that has been tested for B12 comes back deficient. In the United States of America, only 1% of the population identifies as eating a vegan diet. So if you run the numbers, B12 deficiency expands more than just being a vegan problem. It is a societal problem in general, that people aren't getting enough B12 from their food. That comes down to modern day agricultural practices, antibiotic use, which damages intrinsic factor in the gut that helps you to produce your own B12. B12 wasn't something that anybody supplemented with when I was a kid, but now it's something that it gets tested for, so that you can make sure that your levels stay normal. I recommend everyone to take a vitamin B12 supplement. Vitamin B12 is one of the safest vitamins that you can take because it's water soluble. So if you take in any extra, you're just going to urinate it out. I will leave a link for the supplement that I currently take and recommend as well. So again, just getting back to, the key points of this video, people fail on a vegan diet, on a vegetarian diet, on a plant-based diet, because they undereat, they focus on whole foods, they avoid carbohydrates, they follow dogma, they focus too much on detoxing and fasting, and they don't supplement. Okay, so the last thing I want to show from this guy, Certified Health Nut, is just this funny video that this other guy that I follow on my channel made about him. Because the one thing that you got to understand about a lot of these people on social media right now is they're trend or they're fad diet followers. Okay. I used to be one of them, and I got out of the rat race because I educated myself and then applied that education. And then I also sought out people who were getting the results that I desired, and went from there. So where is he at here? Here we go. Here we go. Okay, where's the
That nice brown tint to it. Oof, gnarly. Smells like ammonia. It's good for parasites. It's good for your gut microbiome. So, of course, we can drink a little bit.
This is truly amazing. Ryan lost.
This is aged urine. This is about 6 months. It's got that nice brown tint to it. Oof, gnarly. Smells like ammonia. It's good for parasites. It's good for your gut microbiome. So, of course, we can drink a little bit.
Okay, so clearly, this guy is just about following the most trending diet protocols, right? Drinking aged urine, like, come on now. This guy, Lifting Vegan Logic, who posted the reel of the certified health nut guy, made the same comment. He was like, when people claim that they're ex-vegan, ex-plant-based, you can generally backtrack their diet and see that they were just, following this weird stuff. I actually had a friend too who's no longer vegan, who went down the same path where she started drinking her own urine, and I was like, okay, like, wow. Like, people would rather drink their own urine than add sugar to their meals. Like, it's just crazy to me. And I said ex-vegans are just fad diet followers, and I forgot the O in followers. but it's true. Most of them are following trends instead of educating themselves. So that is it for this video. My little buddy is up hollering for me. Again, get your hands on my coaching program. My website is nutritionbyvictoria.com, and I'll show you guys that real quick. Oh, I have to put www in there. Okay, so I don't want you to be a victim of these fad diets. I want you to educate yourself. Here's my website. Okay. And have access to this information so that you can make informed choices for your health. Okay. I don't subscribe like a meal plan specifically. I encourage you to use the information that I provide and make it work for yourself. Okay. So here's my coaching program. It's on sale right now. $450 down from $200. So please, do yourself a favor and make the investment. I promise you won't be disappointed, and you'll have all the information that you need that I acquired from spending $30,000 on my Master's of Science in Human Nutrition. You'll have it in just like a quick 4-hour, it's a little over 4 hours learning course. And then you won't need, to be constantly seeking out, the next diet fad. You'll have the information you need in order to get the results that you desire. You'll have, the template to the Holy Grail, to getting a healthy, lean, fit body for life. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave any comments or questions down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, and if you made it this far in the video, comment cucumber, because my middle child, she loves cucumbers. Okay, bye guys.